Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to game number 2. It's Evil Geniuses versus Absolute Legends, your G1 League North American European Qualifier. I am LD. I am joined here by Pyrian Flax, and we are going to cast game 2 with Absolute Legends leading the best of 3, 1-0. Loser of this match will go home. Or not of this match, of this series will go home. It's a play-in match. After this match, if you win this game, if you're AL, you make it into the next round. You'll play Team Liquid, but once you win this series, you're in a double elimination bracket with 8 teams. So you have margin for error. A crucial game for both teams. AL, they want to close the door, and EG, they want to put their foot in and start to pry it open. Pyrian, welcome back.
Yep.
Thank you once again for joining me.
A pleasure, sir. My pleasure, as ever.
No, my pleasure. Damn it.
Oh, no, my pleasure, I insist.
No.
Nyx assassin makes it through. Look at this.
Oh boy, we're gonna see a Nyx. Nyx. There will be a Bat Rider available for EG. Nyx is very annoying to play against this Bat Rider just because Spike Carapace completely counters Firefly. But we will see. Still, even considering there's a Nyx, I think you're kind of crazy if you don't take Bat Rider here, because then AL can have a Bat Rider and a Nyx assassin, and the only thing better than one of those heroes is both of them.
Yeah, they've got to. They absolutely have to, as you say, just to deny him. But I don't know, Mag is gone, of course. That's it's a good hero. But Wisp, I'm still kind of surprised about him to be banned first. I'm not sure. Maybe like you said, people have been using him a lot more. But I actually played with there's your Bat Rider and your Gyro. 2 flying dudes. Maybe they're gonna go team flying.
Yeah, EG's going to go for... I felt like last game they really lacked damage for most of the game, and that won't be as much of an issue. When you start off with a Gyro and a Bat Rider, you have plenty of damage. The other thing for EG, I felt that support Bat Rider just a little bit too greedy. And it's interesting because we actually saw this earlier in the G1 League, but it was in the Asian qualifier. IG versus Zenith. Game number 2, Zenith did their no-ban strategy, and IG looked at it and they said, we can have a Bat Rider and a Nyx and a Magnus or some ridiculous collection of heroes that are normally banned. And they ended up running a support Bat Rider for Faith. It was too greedy. It got punished by really effective warding in the enemy jungle. And then later on, IG just got overwhelmed by Zenith. That forced a game 3, where IG ultimately took the series. But I feel like for EG, key for them not to get too greedy, get 3 good farmers, and don't overextend this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say, with regard to Wisp, I played with Mini from Pandas, the Good Studios team, and he's an excellent Wisp. I think it's like his signature hero, and seeing the things that he could do with Wisp is like seeing the things that good players do with people like Bat Rider. They're kind of their spells almost break the physical boundaries of the game that most other heroes are reliant on being the way they are. And all of a sudden, you've got a bat coming at you over a ridge, trailing fire, or you've got Wisp just dumping a Chaos Knight on your face. And these are the kind of things, yeah, you can be prepared for them, but it's not the same. You can't ward to prevent that kind of stuff. It just happens. So I can see why he gets banned,
You know, it's like being prepared for a hurricane. You can try and batten down all the supplies in your house. You can try and, build a house that's stable, that's resistant to high winds, and do whatever you can to keep the foundations intact. But at the end of the day, it's a freaking hurricane. Your best option is to get the hell away, or just not live in an area that's prone to things like hurricanes and earthquakes and whatnot. Yeah, but they didn't ban the Nyx. Instead, they went for the Keeper of the Light and the Wisp. So, they'll have to deal with that hurricane, P-Flax. Yeah, what can you do?
They're going to have to. I mean, here you go. Nature's Prophet in the game again. Nyx, Venge, Nature's Prophet, Bat Rider, Gyro, and Lone Druid. I like EG's lineup better, even though AL have picked up the Nyx. I do think EG have that. That is a strong trio right there. Let's see if they can round it out.
I'm inclined to agree. And the reason is that they have the more stable lineup. They have stronger laning phase. Prophet's not a great laner. Lone Druid is. Nyx Assassin is a good laner, not a great one, I would say, in most cases. Bat Rider is a great laner. And even Gyro is a pretty strong one. So I think EG have the stronger lanes. I think their 5-man is going to be stronger as well. Prophet and Nyx Assassin are better at spreading the map and finding pickoffs, but won't do as much in the 5v5 clashes. So I agree. I think EG is the stronger opening, but as we saw last game, you can have whatever draft you like. It really comes down in the end to execution as much or even more than it does strategy and draft.
Especially because in the last game, we had the problem with the Bat Rider very early on. A couple of wards messed him up, and I don't think... Do you remember there were those fights in the mid? Without that blink, without getting where he needed to be at the same stage as the Mag did, they were missing out so much, and that really, really did cost them. So like you said, the picks are great, but the execution is more important than the picks. So, well, let's see. Shadow Demon banned. He did. I thought he was good in the last game, actually, Shadow Demon. I thought there were some really great disruptions.
Yeah, I felt like Melk's overall movement through the mid game wasn't always the best. He got picked off a lot, but in the fights, his play was fantastic. Rarely getting caught by Chronosphere, always disrupting heroes that were caught in that Chronosphere, purging the void every single fight. So I feel like for EG, I think doing this role switch again, I think it's fine, and I think it definitely can work. We saw the potential for Demon to dominate his lane, and in the mid game have some clutch plays, but Demon, a player who has all the talent in the world, it's just sometimes he's a little too aggressive. So let's see if EG can kind of tighten the bolts and play a little bit more discipline in this game. If they can, I think it's their game to take with the way the draft started, and, well, we'll see if they can. That's always been the issue with this team.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, that was my mother-in-law calling, and she never hangs up, so I had to answer and then hang up on her very quickly.
Oh, P-Flex, what is wrong with you? Having a family, taking care of your children, answering the door?
Mrs. Flex is here. She's looking after the kids so I can cast, which is nice of her.
Where's your man cave? Come on now, P-Flex.
Dude,
where's your bunker?
I'm working on it so hard. I'm gonna build the manliest man cave you've ever seen. It's actually gonna be a cave. I'm gonna dig it myself in my back garden. You're gonna have to go down a ladder to get there.
How manly are we talking? Like, are there gonna be phallic objects just protruding from every corner of the room?
No clothes allowed. Just have to wear fur and hair. That's what you just have. No shaven people.
So Bruno can come as he is, but the rest of us are gonna have to do some work.
You're gonna have to you're gonna have to get manlier and to get down.
Although I actually would argue I have more chest hair than Bruno, but that's a story for another day.
I have quite a lot of chest hair. We're gonna have a competition someday.
Yeah, I don't know if I have that Argentinian swag to pull it off, but I definitely have the chest hair, one way or another. Anyway, with all that being said, P-Flex, the band's almost complete now, and we see just really the strong supports banned out by Absolute Legends. Pretty solid choice, considering EG has a lot of heroes that want to farm. Even a Gyro can be a support, but you still need that hard support. So I like what AL's done with the second round of bans. As for EG, similar story for them. They see that AL needs solos, easy for them. Ban out those strong solos, get rid of the demon heroes. There is still a Batrider and Lone Druid, so potentially these could be your two solos, but I think AL is looking at this and saying, EG, they got greedy with the jungle bat last game. They're gonna do it again. I don't know if they're right, though. I feel like EG may look at that last game and say, had we just gone for 3 farmers, it would have been a much easier time, and if they make that adjustment, I'm not sure if AL will be prepared for it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, Darkseer, I love Darkseer. You know I love Darkseer, but I don't know. I think that Batrider, Gyro, Druid are going to get bigger than Venge, Darkseer. It's a tricky one. Their final pick is going to be absolutely clutch here. I think they're going to need a really big pick here.
You know, I actually just realized I confused the teams again because I'm freaking dumb as hell. Sorry, guys. But yeah, it was EG banning out all the solos, which makes a lot more sense. So AL is not expecting a jungle Batrider. They are expecting it to be a laning Batrider, and they're right. And it will be a Bane here for EG. So they get a support. They pull one out of the hat, and a strong one at that. I feel like this hero goes great with Gyro. And now you can round things off with something like Alina. Suddenly you have a devastating tri-lane. Darkseer won't be able to lane against this, even if they wanted to send him off lane. I think EG is in great shape. Something like Alina or Leshrac should complete this lineup beautifully. They'll have push, they'll have teamfight, they'll have plenty of stuns, and they'll have late game to boot.
What is Bane now a support? Is that what you said?
Yeah, definitely a support in, like, I'd say 90% of pro games.
5 seconds
Gosh.
remaining.
He's not a carry, but I mean, he always goes mid in the games that I play. I don't know if that's an old way of playing Bane or whatever, but someone would always take Bane mid. Is that no longer the way they do it? Uh-oh.
Oh, sound the PL alarm.
Oh, man.
The Lancer.
I thought I said in the lobby before the game, I said, let's keep this nice and clean. Nobody pick PL. I said that for game 1 and they did. Now I didn't say it at game 2 and they picked PL. God damn it.
Apparently, they didn't get the memo. The PL on the loose yet again. Doesn't have his trusty Keeper of the Light at his side. I still feel like EG is by all means okay with giving this away. They have plenty of... The EG lineup in a 5-man engagement, PL's not going to help you there. So unless EG really lose the laning stage hard, I don't think this hurts them. And they're going heavy mid-game with a Tidehunter pickup here. And AL looking at their team, not many natural BKB carriers. I think EG can deathball this. And for AL, they're going to have to split push. They're going to have to find kills in the mid-game with the Miguel Prophet as well as the Nyx Assassin. Played by Ryze, and if they can, then I think AL will be in okay shape. But if EG execute properly, I see them doing decently in the late stage, and then I see them just 5-banning through the mid game. Can they do it? We'll find out.
Yeah, Tidehunter. Great pickup, I think, there. Bane and Tidehunter, that's great disable. Batrider 2, you get all kinds of entangles from the Druid and Gyrocopter with the damage. I think this is going to be interesting. Absolute Legends, if you look at their team, they've got a gank lineup with the Prophet Nyx is strong. The try and let PL farm and Darkseer and Venge, good supporting roles, but they don't want to take a toe-to-toe fight, I don't think, the way EG do. EG, like you said, Deathball, they want to get him there. They want it to be like the scrum in rugby, but yeah, it's going to be interesting.
That's a great word, scrum. Sounds so grimy.
It does, and it is.
Okay, so we're going to have a hero player combination that I'm personally very, very excited to see. It's going to be a Demon Batrider for Team Evil Geniuses. They're down 0-1 in this best of 3. They've got to win this game or they're done. They're out of the G1 League North American European Qualifier. If they win this game, then we go to a deciding game 3, but it's going to be Demon Bat. Last seen in the G1 League, wreaking havoc all over the place. We actually have a highlight reel from that past event, from Season 4. Some amazing plays by him. It'll be the Fear, Safe Lane Lone Druid, and an aggressive Trilane. A very dangerous one at that for EG, with the Bane being handled by B-Diz, a Milk Tidehunter, and will be a JO Gyrocopter. So an aggressive Trilane for these 3. It's a bit of a weaker Trilane than it could have been. They could have gone for something like Lina or Leshrac, but they opted for the Tide. So they said, we'll have a weaker lane, but our mid game will be stronger. And of course, EG, well, they're playing against Absolute Legends, who are actually leading this series 1-0. Yeah,
interesting that AL, obviously they're going to have the PL bot. They chose to defend their jungle rather than be aggressive here because you've got this aggressive tri-lane. This is going to be all action down here, I think. It's interesting they've got Nyx in the tri-lane. I'm not sure that that's something I've seen too much of. I'm kind of surprised by that, to be honest with you.
It's actually pretty common in the competitive play, but not something you see as much of in pub games, I feel, unless you're in really high-level games. Generally, he'll be a solo mid and kind of a ganker, yeah. But some teams will run him as a solo mid in competitive play, but a lot of the teams nowadays, Nyx, a hero like Rubik, who once he gets his core levels up, this is a support hero who forces the enemies to buy sentries if you run him as a support, and you can't really say that about any other support hero in the game. Even a bounty hunter generally gets a solo lane. So with that being said, Absolute Legends, it's Miracle on the Vengeful Spirit. Rise going to be handling that Nyx Assassin. Unicorn XO on the Phantom Lancer. Then we'll have the solo mid. Miguel going to be playing a solo mid Darkseer, and then Mania on the Nature's Prophet. So all things considered, tri-lane on tri-lane. Could be a bloodbath bottom. Milk off the bat with an Invis rune. Going to be manually blocking that camp. So AL, no early pulls for them.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice move.
And he's going to block it twice, it looks like.
Yeah, that's just to be spiteful. Look at that.
What a dick.
I'm always... it's confusing. You know, this is one of the sides of Dota 2 that I think players have a problem with, and I'm one of those players, is that if you look at that ward, that sentry ward placement, there's nothing intuitive to tell you that that's going to block anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, that looks like just a stupid place to put a sentry ward, but in fact, it's a great place to put a sentry ward, because it blocks that camp, right?
It blocks 2 camps, actually. This is well, I think it's the Magic Bush ward. It's slightly below where you normally see it, which is right on top of that plant, but I believe this one will block both of the camps from spawning.
But there's nothing to tell you, like, you couldn't look at the game and say, oh, if I put one here, it'll block both camps. I mean, they must have worked that out the hard way, right?
It was
trial and error.
It's like a lot of Warcraft 3 mechanics, which seem very, very weird. It all comes from Warcraft 3, where it happens to work that way. The creep camps, they have a spawn box. If there's anything inside of that spawn box in Warcraft 3, creeps won't spawn. It's something that has sort of been carried over, but you know, the game's kind of been balanced around the fact that these mechanics exist, so it works and it makes sense to people who know the game. But yeah, as an up-and-coming player, you might have these little kind of eyeballs on the high ground for some of the more common wards, like looking towards the rune spawns, where I'm drawing some circles at the bottom rune.
I can see him, yep.
Yeah, but aside, you know, that's the only real thing that Valve has done to try and accommodate the new players. For the most part, you got to learn it the hard way, be it through tutorials or be it through losing a lot of pub games. Like, how the hell did he see me? Map hacker, map hacker.
I mean, the thing is, I suppose you've got to figure that because of the matchmaking system, you're going to have newer players playing newer players, and of course Smurf accounts, which is something I hate to see, but you're going to have the newer players playing against people who also don't know that, and gradually you'll learn that stuff maybe as you get into the game. But like you said, it's all stuff left over from Warcraft 3. It is kind of funky to learn that. Like, you think it's all going to be just built purely for design purposes, but a lot of it is just like legacy stuff. It's like going to work for a bank, which I did this before. I worked as a temp for a bank, and they had this computer system. There was it was one of those old computers where the screen is built into the computer, and it's like 6 inches, and the keyboard goes click, click, click like this. And you know, you're like, why are you using this rusty old computer? They're like, oh well, it works. You know, that we've always used this thing. You're like, oh. yeah, I guess why would you change? If it works, why would you change? So maybe that's it. It works, so why change?
Yeah, and at this point, if they wanted to remove stuff like that, there are so many other changes that would have to be made to rebalance the game. And I mean, it's even stuff like the spawn boxes are different for each side. I mean, the Magic Bushboard is an interesting one because not only does it block the obvious camp, this one, but it actually blocks 2 camps, something that you don't see anywhere else on the map. There's no other location on the map where you can place a single ward and block 2 camps with it. Just one of those things, man. Just one of those strange idiosyncrasies of Dota. But on another note, focusing a little bit more on the game right now, I'm looking at the 2 solo lanes. Damn it, P-Flex, you and your diversions.
Sorry.
They're enjoyable diversions, but they are diversions, and, well, we'll try to refocus. So it is AL versus DEG in this best of 3. Mania going to be soloing the off lane, the Nature's Prophet, versus Fear's safe lane Lone Druid. Should be a matchup that favors Fear. 13 and 10 for him, 9 and 10 for the Prophet. 10 denies on both heroes. I'm actually having a disconnect from the game.
Yeah, same.
Looks like the servers are acting up. It is on US East.
Oh. Yeah, lag.
It shouldn't count as a pause.
Lag pause.
Yeah, Atri being a little overzealous there, I think, our admin. But at the same time, I think a lot of admins don't do enough to enforce the rules, so we'll try and we'll look to rein Atri in a little bit. This one obviously not EG's fault, just general lag with the server.
There have been problems with the US East servers the last few days. I know a lot of people, myself included, have had trouble with it. I don't know quite what's going on. But there are problems. Sometimes you'll go to matchmaking, you'll find a match, and then you'll spend 5 or 6 minutes finding a server. I don't know if you've noticed that. But it has been a problem. I think it is a known problem with the US East servers.
It's like you have kids, you actually pay attention to your doorbell and your neighbors. Apparently Valve takes vacations and does things besides work on Dota 2. Who would have thunk it?
I guess you could compare a human child with a Dota 2 server.
Yes, basically that's what I'm saying. Your kid is approximately as valuable as these servers to me. In fact, I would say Dota 2 is more important because I care more about it. That's what counts.
True, you do. That's nice to know, thanks. You care more about Dota 2 servers than my kids.
I'm sure if I met Baby Flax, I'd feel very differently.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Okay, for some reason, I was going to say, I couldn't see these heroes on the map for a second, but yeah, AL has 2 heroes smoked and heading all the way top, and for EG, they'll ping this lane, but will Fear know in time. He's going to back off, so great map awareness from EG. This is going to be a massive waste of time if they don't find this kill.
Yeah, it's always painful. Look at this, they might kill the panda.
They actually, the smoke, it took them so long to get here because they don't even have boots that the smoke wears off by the time they do. And Fear just kind of laughs like, well, your PL's not farming for a few minutes now. That's a huge loss.
That would be the worst smoke gank, I think. That you know, like you said, they just basically smoked to walk across the map. I guess they're going to try and wrap around and catch Demon. What was the point in that? And now you got a bear chasing you.
Well, I think their thought was, our PL should be relatively okay in this bottom lane. There's no sentry wards right now, so they're not going to be able to kill him. So let's look to create pressure elsewhere, because Fear is doing very well top, 19 and 11. The Prophet is farming well, but the Lone Druid's a little bit more of a mid-game punch. The Prophet, more a hero that's just going to be a kind of a nuisance in the backlines. So they leave PL alone knowing he won't die, but unfortunately, now it's going to be hard to find kill, and Fear's almost level 6. We already have a level 6 in our Batrider, and a TP scroll. Dangerous dive. Very dangerous dive.
Oh, Miracle. I think Miracle's in big trouble here.
Yeah, this doesn't look good for him. He'll just feed a kill away to the tower. First blood. AG really reacting here, and a big press from AL. They try and find that kill. Now, Lasso on the backside. Got to pull Rise into the fray. Our level 2 next. No way out. Doesn't even have a point in Spike Carapace yet. So we look to the other kill. Can beat his track down Mania. He's got to sleep. Mania tries to TP out. He'll get slept. And then I think we'll see Demon burn him down. The sleep will come. Stack that napalm. But actually, no. Not enough mana to get the kill. So in the end, he'll TP away.
No. He hasn't TP'd out.
No. He goes back. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
He has out of mana, so.
Yeah. That has to go down as one of the worst smoke ganks, I think. They took ages to get there, and then they died. It's not optimal, is it? Why did they dive past the tower like that? That was manly, but holy cow!
I think it was the thought process is like, we already wasted so much time, we got to try for this.
We have to get something.
Or we're just really far behind. But they put themselves even farther behind as a result. JO bottom lane, they could even look no mana for Sprout, so nothing gonna happen here. Nothing doing. And in fact, the turnaround will come. Miracle might be in trouble. Rise even joining the fight. 4 people descending to the bottom lane. JO turned back around, ran into 4. Didn't expect that additional hero. Now Milk may die as well. 2 quick kills potentially going the other way. A magic missile coming in. Mania gets 2 kills. A double for him. And now almost has his hand of Midas. So even though that top gank went horribly, a quick turnaround for AL. and Prophet
Yeah.
looking at a relatively early hand of Midas, if he wants
Oh
it.
boy, they needed that. They needed that really quickly to get back in it, I think, because yeah, if you look at the XP spike, I know it's a early, very early game, but look at that spike one way and then right back the other. They needed that.
As for Absolute Legends, they're content to just park the Darkseer mid, now sitting at 56 CS. He can push the lane as well as farm the small camp, which, as you can see, he's been doing that. Even if you're on the Dire side, you can do this, but it's easier and safer on the Radiant side, and just getting maximum experience and gold out of the jungle. So he'll have that early mechanism at the rate AL go, and that'll allow the Nature's Prophet to go for Hand of Midas, which is what we see from Mania. So I think smart overall item selections, making those little adjustments for AL. And all things considered, even though that smoke gank went very, very poorly for them, they delay their Nyx's level 6. Yes, that's all bad, but what's good is Unicorn's farming reasonably well, and for the moment, Demon doesn't have a Blink Dagger yet. So until he does, it'll be relatively safe for this AL lineup, but they need to just play defensively at this point and work towards their Nyx level 6. They'll actually find Milk. Can they kill him?
I think he's dead.
What kind of a question was that? Of course they can.
Yeah.
Because they're 4-manning. They're just 4-manning everywhere. 4 heroes here. It was actually... Of all heroes, it was Mania who snipes the kill. He'll get his Midas up now. Not the fastest Midas ever, but considering he almost died earlier and had to buy a TP scroll when go back to base, he'll be happy with this.
Yeah, definitely.
Here comes Demon, though. Demon might kill him off. Use your Midas, Mania, because you're dead. He'll Midas. Then he'll die.
There you go.
Now he's dead.
Are you going to TP out?
No way.
Oh, the Lassie just did that.
There's a flame break, I think. Actually, no mana. He might even get away. Oh, Demon, just short. Just short. 35 mana short of a flame break.
Ouch.
If he has the flame break there, that's a kill. Instead, his lasso blown and doesn't get it. And Mania even got his Midas off before he TP'd away.
He's living a charmed life, this Nature's Prophet, at the moment. It really is.
I think Ice Frog and Mania may be in cahoots. We need to have a little talk with the Frog after this game, period.
There was no RNG factor there. There was just the dude ran out of mana. I think it was legit.
I don't know. Maybe he's stealing a few mana points from Demon when he's not looking. So now,
Go and watch the replay.
So now Demon, being level 8, he'll rotate into the jungle, and the nice thing about running a Bat Rider, even if you give him a solo lane, you can eventually transition out of that. Let him jungle once he has the levels, and he jungles very quickly at that. Give someone else the solo, or even the dual lane farm. So they'll do that. They'll leave Milk bottom, and speaking of Milk, still only level 4. They will be reliant on his Ravage in the mid game to take team fights. They have a very, very strong team fight, but Ravage is a core component of it, and for the moment, it's at least a few minutes off.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you've also got in the, I think in the team fights they have good disable with the Ravage, and then they can say, okay, who are we going to lasso and who is Bane going to ult, and then they can focus down other people. It is going to be very strong. They have then, you know, you've got to fight in a wall in all likelihood, which is never fun. But Darkseer, look at this. He's already got mana boots, and he's very close to getting mech. I think that's a good reason to stick your Darkseer mid, because he does benefit from a few items. That's for sure.
Yeah, very efficient play from him, and on top of that, look at what's happened to the tier 1 mid. It's taken 1,000 points of damage. This is just the power of running that Darkseer mid. AL, if they ever find a kill, or even just catch EG, bottom or top lane, TP in your Prophet, free tier 1 for you, and that means the next set of items will come out faster and faster, as well as, you know, getting that next assassin. Because these supports, yes, they had a slow start, but that's something AL can do to catch up. Get some early towers with Prophet and Darkseer. And on that note, speaking of carries, Unicorn XOXO has his drums up now, so can head towards that Diffusal Blade. And for EG, they've started to stack some Ancients up. It will be Jo looking to farm those. Keep on wanting to say Angina, but of course that is his girlfriend, so totally a different name.
Oh, wait, so his girlfriend's name is Angina?
I believe so.
Because angina is like a heart condition, right?
Yeah, I guess it is as well, but I'm pretty sure it is his girlfriend. Although, in the world of esports, relationships change very quickly, so who knows what's the case today.
Oh, maybe that's just her player name. Is that her real life name is Angina?
No, it's her handle, I'm pretty sure.
Right, yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you wouldn't name your kid Angina.
I imagine her real life name is probably Angela. That would be my guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're a very smart man, Oldie.
Thank you, period. You're not too shabby yourself in that department.
You were gonna say you're not so smart yourself, weren't you? That's what you were about to say.
No, but I actually like that better, so I'm gonna roll with that one.
They take down this tier 1 bot. AL are getting up a good head of steam here.
Yeah, EG going for the trade. They will get a tier 1 of their own, but AL have the momentum and the treants on their side. They're going to take 2. EG, they'll look to defend, but no lasso, no... Oh, they have the Bat Rider blink, but Demon, not at base, no mana, so they're giving up the tier 2. They'll drop a cooldown, but the tower is going to fall one way or another. Down it goes, and it goes... God, this Nature's Prophet. All the towers, all the gold. He'll come right top, and I'll Midas a creep.
Greedy son of a bitch.
Mania,
Yeah,
you bastard.
The problem they've got is Melk is still only level 4, and I mean, you know, he's got boots 1. This is the trouble, I think, with having the trialing, because I have seen people run Tide, like, you want to get him level 6 as quickly as you can, because Ravage there would have really been awesome.
Oh,
but
yeah.
as it is, he's only got brown boots. He's nowhere near Blink Dagger. He's going to get, I guess, mana boots first or something maybe, but it's tough. I mean, it is tough. I think this is good. AL are going to say, well, look, we've got this early advantage. Before you can even use Ravage, we're going to push down 3 of your towers, which is what they've done.
They all just leave mid, forgetting to finish off the tower. But it will go to Miguel. One of the fattest Dark Seers you will ever see. 5.5k net worth at 13 minutes in. Demon,
Amazing.
he smoked from the base. He's got a haste rune as well as a blink dagger. Really wants to take a fight. The reason they gave up that tower is exactly what you pointed out. There was no Ravage, but here we go mid. On to Miguel. Blink, pull him in. And this should be potentially a kill, but with no Ravage, maybe not. They need a flame break. Can they find it? Can they find it? It's a hasted demon. Still giving chase. He'll have to back off in the end. The mech was too much. They couldn't kill Miguel.
I mean, there's an early mech for you right there. Early, I mean, 250 hit points and armor at that level is huge. I mean, this is why an early mech is awesome, but I hate to see, like, I often end up having to get my mech around the 35-minute mark, and it's useless at that point, but it's a great idea. Look at this smoke gank from AL. They're going to go right back in their faces.
They only have a level 5 Nyx, so still no Vendetta, which at 13... the supports are really suffering for both teams at this point. To see a level 4 support at 13.5 minutes in, very, very rarely do you see this. Tidehunter getting close to Ravage, doesn't have it just yet. And Rasso is down for the moment. They're searching Miracle. Can they catch out Fear? The Magic Missile will start this, but he's tanky. He's hard to kill. They'll need everything changed perfectly to bring him down. The Impale, actually already thrown out. Didn't even get the animation for that one, but Fear dropping low. Will be burned down by Anshel. They get the kill. Can they all get out? Now the Magic Missile on to beat is the Mana Burn as well. And AL get the kill on Fear. They back on out of there. And that's crucial because he has 2,600 gold. I think Fear might be thinking about a Radiance this game, but whatever he's thinking for, it will be delayed. Period. Now taking a look at the overall state of the game. PL's free farming. PL getting closer and closer to a Diffusal Blade. A 5k gold lead for AL. A 2k experience lead. And for EG, you gotta ask, where is that level 6 on Tidehunter? Where is the Ravage? Where is the team fight?
Yeah. I mean, like you were just talking about the supports only being low level. Bear in mind, I mean, well, Nyx just hit level 6. There's a lasso, by the way, on Miracle. I think he drops down, so they managed to pull one back. But both teams' supports are not quite there. But they are now. AL just got there with Vengeance level 5, but Nyx is level 6, and that's big. That is big.
It's huge. And every time they find a kill, that's another minute or two for the Phantom Lancer to farm safely. And I love this adjustment we're seeing to the Nature's Prophet. Last game, Mania rushed the mech for this team, but this game, they recognize the Darkseer can farm it quickly, and they need a fast split pushing Prophet to secure the late game. So they go for the Shadow Blade, the best early split pushing item, since even if you die, you at least force their supports to buy Sentries and Dust. And if they don't buy them, you live. And of course, the attack speed damage helps you push a lot as well. So really the best split pushing item in the game, outside of maybe a Necro Book, which is kind of gimmicky, doesn't really scale that well. And I love this adjustment for Mania. I think AL now set up fantastically for the mid game. And if you're EG, well, you could try and take it late. You can stack Ancients for the Gyrocopter. The issue for me is Jo is not particularly farmed. 60 CS for him. And looking at Fear, he's a little bit closer, could get the Relic relatively soon. I think EG may be forced to take this late, because by the time they get Ravage, AL already have a mech, so Ravage won't really be that effective. They're even getting a lot of items up on top of that. It's just going to be hard to find kills for EG. So even though they had the strong 5-man, the strong mid-game, the strong Death Ball, don't think it's going to amount to much at this point.
Just cast your eyes south here, LD. Southeast, if you will, and have a look. Who is this down here having a whale of a time on his own? Why isn't this guy getting stomped into the ground? This is what I hate about PL. Look at this. He's just happy farming away. He's just having a whale of a time. You forget about him. He's just down there slapping people with his spear, and he does that and then wins the game. It's agonizing. You can see it happening.
Yep, you know it's coming, but you can't stop it. It's like if you've ever been in a car accident, which hopefully hasn't been too bad if you have.
I have. I've been in 2 minor car accidents.
Like you try to slam on the brakes, or if there's snow, then you try and gently brake so that your car doesn't skid. Whatever the case is, you see it coming. You know it's about to happen, and you just brace for impact. And right now, EG should be bracing for impact because Unicorn Diffusal Blade is out.
Oh man, it's horrible to see. I hate this.
You're like viscerally upset right now, and
I need to do a video about how much I hate PL. It'll just be me crying for 10 minutes.
A boo boo. I can't wait. I can't imagine how good the YouTube comments will be. Oh man, dude, flex fucking noob.
Yeah,
Learn to
God.
play. PL isn't good.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, I don't think the hero's
That's
imbalanced.
why PL gets picked in a pro game.
Yeah,
'cause PL 's
I
no
don't
good.
think he's imbalanced by any means, but he is very annoying to play against at the
Yeah.
end of the day. And
Oh, we need a reboot here from Malk.
no time for whine or any sort of excuses. If you're EG, you got to win this game, or you go home.
Yeah.
You're done. This will be pause number 2 for EG. At least, I think the first one. So yeah, this counts as an official pause. Melk will have to reboot. Both teams get 5 pauses. Just G1 trying to kind of make sure that we don't have really long delays. I know some recent tournaments have had issues with prolonged pauses. Unfortunately, not really the fault of the organizers, but it did happen yesterday in the DreamHack Invitational. Just players having connection issues, whether they're being DDoSed or just lagging, whatever the case is. So G1 looking to kind of limit the impact on the viewers. But period, this gives us a chance to look at our bracket. So we're in phase 1 right now. EG versus AL, a best of 3. The winner is going to play Team Liquid. An alright matchup,
Okay.
I would say.
Yeah.
Next match, Kaipi versus Empire. That one coming up not today, but I believe tomorrow. Later today, and the winner of that match plays Fnatic EU. Some alright teams there.
Right.
Next game, Virtus Pro versus Mousesports, and I think this is the hardest section of the bracket personally, as the bottom half. Virtus Pro versus Mousesports. Winner of that moves into our main double elimination bracket and plays the Alliance, or No Tidehunter as they're better known. That is a scary trio of teams. The final one is QPad or QPandas versus Team Dignitas. Winner of that is to play Navi. This bracket is so stacked from top to bottom, and I would say especially at the bottom.
Oh man, that does not sound fun.
Not fun for anyone. And what's crazy is only 2 teams make it out of the bracket. So when it's all said and done, your winner bracket champions will immediately secure a spot in the LAN finals. A paid trip to China for the G1 Champions League Season 5. The first ever Chinese event to officially invite and pay for the travel, as well as all accommodations for some Western teams. The first place team will be your Western bracket, or your winner bracket champions. The loser bracket champions will squeak in as second. They will get paid accommodations and trip as well. But that's a hard road to travel. Any road into this event is going to be a hard road to travel. This is, I would say, easily the most prestigious event outside of the International 2, even though there are other more well-known leagues in China and more prestigious ones within China, such as ACE, such as G League, as well as potentially the upcoming Perfect World League. The end of the day, this is the only event right now that has announced Western teams will be involved, that is inviting them. So it's basically a mini International 3.
Yeah, I mean that's really huge. I think it's great. I really think it's great. I would love to see more of this kind of thing, because I know, you know what, like you said, the brackets are tough. The European teams are going to fight tooth and nail for this, and that's really good to see. I'm not saying they don't always give their best, but when there's something big riding on it, it makes it even more exciting, I think, to watch.
And you can focus more. I think one of the issues with the Western scene, it's something that there's been a decent amount of, I think, constructive and productive discussion within the Dota community as of late, is how the Western scene is very different from the Asian one. At the end of the day, you look at the Asian scene, and especially within China. With Southeast Asia, you kind of have similar issues to the Western scene. But China is something different, something more special, where you have 3 or 4 major events. G1 League, G League, ACE, and then the International. And then potentially this new Perfect World League as well. But basically, we'll have more disconnections from EG. Unfortunate to see these delays. But basically, they only have a few major events, so they can train and practice more and focus on just performing really well. It's kind of like American football, where you have one big game a week. Whereas you look at the current North American, European tournament circuit, even the Southeast Asian circuit, it reminds me a lot more of American baseball, where you have like 5-6 games a week.
Right.
How much can you really do at the end of the day? It just kind of comes down to your current form. They're not going to be able to pull a pocket strategy out of the hat. You can't specifically game plan too much for an opposing team because you don't have time. But with this qualifier, a lot of the teams have been saying, we're focused on G1. We're focused on the G1 League qualifiers. Even when they're playing a lot of other big events with decent prize pool like Raid Call, sure, they want to win, but even more than that, I think they care about being in top form for this event.
Yeah. I guess also you've got to think, I mean, there has to be a question of burnout. If you're just playing tournament all the time, when do they take a break? When do they scrim? When do they get together and say, let's just spend... I mean, this is why when they do the boot camp prior to the international and stuff like that, they do that. I think that must be great, although I'm sure they get on each other's nerves. You can just secrete yourself from the world and just say, look, guys, let's just focus on something. Let's get the parts of our game that we're weak on, let's just nail those and stuff. Because otherwise you're just competing. And a big part, like you said, of sport is training. And in American football, they do a huge amount of training. They practice plays in the off season. They do, they get everything just right. I think that, I don't know, with Dota 2, I think it's important that you get that chance to go away as a team and work on your strengths and weaknesses. If you're just competing in tournaments week in, week out, I don't know. I think you'd have to suffer. You would in any other sports, so surely in Dota 2 would be the same.
Yeah, I mean, with Dota, obviously, it's not like your body wears down physically in terms of, like, suddenly... Well, there are some exceptions to that, like carpal tunnel syndrome and whatnot, but for the most part, it's more of the mental grind and just, you know, mental exhaustion or fatigue, where even if you're not entirely burnt out, you're not playing your absolute best, you're not able to deliver every day, but with this event, I feel like these teams, it is horrible hours for a lot of the North American European teams, but at the end of the day, I think the stakes are high enough that everyone's coming with their A game or as close to that as they can muster.
It's refocusing them, you know. It's sort of giving them some you know, we've got to do this sort of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the prize pool for G1 League is big enough that the teams really care about it. It's not the International 3, but it'll do in a pinch. So it's the highest prize pool outside of the International. Outside of the International. So, and that's for all Dota 2 events. Looking at a single event's prize pool, it's the biggest.
What is the prize pool?
I want to say it was initially like 53,000, but it's now 63,000. It's 400,000 RMB in dollars. Let's see, what is that? It's $65,000. So it was originally 330,000 RMB, but now it's 400,000 RMB. The prize pool got increased, so about $65,000 total prize pool. Now, if memory serves me correctly, it's very top-heavy, meaning like first place I think is like 30,000 plus, and then so the prizes if you don't win the event are much lower. But hey, even if you don't win, it's great practice going to China and training.
And what an experience as well.
Absolutely. So guys, we do have a bit of a prolonged pause here. Pyrion, you got your harmonica?
No, Babby Fife's destroyed the harmonica, I'm afraid.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know.
What are we gonna do?
Musical instrumentless.
You got a rap for us? Any sort of musical?
No, I can't freestyle. I've tried it. I've practiced freestyling for hours in front of the mirror every day, LD, and so far it's not working. I'm like Rabbit at the start of 8 Mile when he just freezes and he just listens solely to the beat and then just goes yo, and that's the end of the rap. Like it's no good.
What good are you to me? Can't sing, won't sing, you won't play harmonica.
I know. I'm sorry. I can't play a musical instrument. I suck.
Pyrion, you're fired.
I'll take it easy. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Peace.
Well, guys, sorry for the prolonged delay. If you're just tuning in, this is a Best of Legends and Evil Geniuses. Currently, Absolute Legends leading that best of 3, 1-0. And for EG, a crucial game. We'll take another look at the bracket since we have a bit of a prolonged pause here. 2 players from EG currently disconnected, but the winner of this match will move into our main double elimination bracket where they will play Team Liquid in Phase 2. From this qualifier, 2 teams will emerge. Your first place team will be your winner bracket champions. They will get a paid trip with accommodations paid as well to China for the mainland finals. Same for your loser bracket champions. But to get into that actual double elimination bracket, you have to qualify through Phase 1. 4 teams were invited directly into Phase 2. They are Team Liquid, Fnatic EU, the Alliance, or No Tidehunter, as many of you know them, and Na'Vi. The other 8 teams, only 4 of them make it into this next bracket. And right now, I gotta say, it's looking good for AL. Game 1 went their way. Game 2, they have a clear advantage in terms of gold, 5k gold lead, 3k experience lead. They have, I would say, a bit of an edge in terms of late game, outside of maybe a hero gyrocopter Divine Rapier, which is always a possibility. But if we're looking at that for him, it's a long way off, because right now our gyrocopter isn't farming well. So if AL take this game, they can relax. They're in.
Yeah. I mean, they got the PL. Like, whatever else happens, they've got the insurance policy of the PL. EG are going to need to take a fight to them. And, as we saw, I mean, Tidehunter's only just got mana boost, doesn't have Blink Dagger, nowhere near Blink Dagger. Bat's got his Blink Dagger, and he has a bottled DD rune. How's the Bear Man doing? Let's have a look. What's on the Bear? Well, just the Orb of Venom. Yeah, I think EG are going to say, look, we need to push and we need to win this early. Whilst the PL is out there doing his thing, maybe they could try and look for a fight. But it is going to be very tough for them. As you say, El, have the late game. They've got this advantage. Looking at the graphs, they're already up over $2,000 in a gold and $5,000 in gold and 2,000 experience. I love the graphs, by the way. I'm obsessed with stats in real life as well. So
yeah, experience earned is a bit misleading as a statistic because unlike gold, experience has diminishing returns. 2,000 gold buys you as much no matter what point you are in the game, but if you're already level 15, 2,000 experience doesn't really mean that much. If you're level 2, it means the world. So with experience earned, I feel like this graph, and I've suggested it to Valve in the past, should kind of be rejiggered. Maybe show the difference in levels between the teams instead. Would look kind of awkward, I suppose, as far as the graph goes, but you can try and round out the curves. But it's still an interesting statistic. It still has some meaning. It's just as the game goes on, tends to mean less and less.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the hero level chart. If you look at that seems to be more telling. But it's a bit. It's I like things in graph form. By the way, look at poor old Bane is only level 6 down here. He's the lowest. He's the lowest of the low. BDiz at the moment, and I think that's the kind of a problem. They need to get Bane and tied up a bit because they just get smushed otherwise. Look at this Darkseer. He's running away with it. He's having a whale of a time. Oh. Well, LD has gone off to the fridge or something.
I'm very unprofessional. I took that moment to get some more water because I'm casting like 4 or 5 best of 3s today, and well, the throat already took a beating after that crazy game number 1. Lots of games in store for me, so my apologies, Pyrian.
So
left you hanging.
Is this just the start of your day of casting?
Yeah, I'm a totally normal, well-adjusted, healthy human being. I started my workday at 12 a.m. I'll probably finish around 1 p.m. or something like that, maybe 12 p.m. if I'm lucky.
Wow.
Yeah, and then after I'm done, you know, it's the perfect time to just go out on a date with a nice, cute girl from next door. And
oh, really?
Yeah, you know, because everybody's just relaxing and not working or anything at 12 p.m. here. So I'm a very functional human being, Pyrian. Very, very functional.
You've met a girl?
I was being sarcastic.
Oh.
How are you going to meet a girl when you're working all night and then sleeping all day, man? It's hard.
Well, she could work nights?
God? Yeah, that's true. That's true. I could go out to the bar, but the thing is, I'm weak. I'm weak and feeble. I'm exhausted after a 12-hour day, and then I do things like sleep. But meanwhile, Gods and Lumi having all the fun at the RIT LAN, Rochester Institute of Technology. Of course, there's a very high female-to-male ratio there. Not.
Well, yeah. Is it not? I mean, you know, you get
I think it's like 90% male. It's one of these engineering schools, so.
Oh, right, okay.
There probably weren't any girls there, or like 5 for this huge, like, you know, hundreds or thousands of people event, but hey, that's more than I've been meeting, so they can't complain.
It's LA. Everybody goes there to work. It's tough to meet people, I'm sure. That's what I've heard.
It is. And it's also going to be tough for the players to get focused in this game. I mean, it's been a long pause at this point.
This has been like a, look, what, 5, 10, maybe 10-minute pause? They're saying they're DDoSed. I don't know. They're saying their internet is down. This is tough. This could be bad. What would be the thing here? Would they have to forfeit?
I'm not sure exactly what the G1's ruling would be. Let me actually check, because H3 did post the rules in the chat. I'm not sure if he mentioned any situation like this. Give me 1 sec. I'm just reading through the rules.
By the way, I am currently leading a straw poll for who is the best player out there with 132 votes.
Hell yeah! Is my name is my name on the list?
You didn't even make the list, dude. Oh wait, did you? No, you didn't. You're not on the list. I'm just above Dendy and Chuan and Sing Sing. So oh wait, nope. Sing Sing just went third. 130. Thanks, guys. Means a lot.
Okay, so someone was saying that my voice is a problem in Dota TV, but I've been told by my stream mods who are also listening there that it's fine. So, if you're having an issue, I think it's actually on your end. Just considering that other people aren't having that issue, I can't imagine how it would be mine. But I did try lowering my threshold, so if my voice is skippy in Dota TV, hopefully it is fixed. I'll double check with the stream mods to make sure that is still in fact the case, and they're not having any issues with the in-game. But anyway, you were talking about stream polls, and you're leading them, and you're the best Dota player in the world, Pyrian.
Yeah.
Am I in that stream poll?
No, you're not even on there, dude.
I'm not even worthy.
No, didn't make it.
I'm just checking with the mods, guys, while we're waiting here. E.g., for anyone just tuning in, 2 players disconnected. I think we now had about a 10-minute pause or so, maybe a little bit less, waiting to see if they can get their internet back up. But currently, as you can see, suspecting they might be DDoSed, either that or just having internet issues. But considering that, I mean, whichever 2 players it is, Melkabita is completely opposite ends of the world, so.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, not really sure.
It's interesting. This is the kind of stuff I think there does almost need to be a sort of fixed rule about what the deal is with pauses, what the deal is with disconnects, because you know, it's not good to have people disconnecting and nobody really knowing what to do and then waiting around and stuff. I think that it would be better for the scene and for people in general to just know what happens and what the rules are. I'm not saying I want to see the game forfeited or anything. I'm just saying it would be nice to know, so they're resetting their routers. Seems like a DDoS attack. God damn, that's crazy.
If you're DDoSing EG and you're hearing this, you're an asshole. I implore you to stop. But
you know what, dude? These are advanced AL strats. They're looking at they're DDoSing their opponents. This is the meta game.
yeah,
the new
really,
meta is
really
live
smart from
DDoS.
AL. Accrue a significant lead, have arguably the better late game lineup outside of a Rapier on Gyrocopter, and then DDoS your opponent so you can't complete that game. Next level strategy from AL. Probably working
it's just
for
securing
EG.
the win.
Yeah,
It's securing the win.
for EG if you do that.
Well, yeah, maybe.
At the end of the day, I mean, if they can't get their internet back online, I guess the two obvious options would be, one, require EG to use stand-ins and remake the game. Two, there'd be three obvious options. A forfeit, or three, load a save game another day. But I don't think they'll agree to change their schedule, G1 will, because it's kind of a tight ship, and we have, I believe it's EMS coming up this following weekend, so a lot of the European teams won't be available. So, can't really do it this next weekend. Then the league will resume, and they have to kind of finish everything for the North American European qualifiers in a relatively timely fashion. So, I don't think G1 will agree to reschedule. I think it's either going to come down to a remake or potentially even just giving a forfeit win to AL, but I doubt they would do that considering if AL win this game, they win the whole series, and that would be kind of a shitty way for EG to get knocked out.
Yeah, it would suck. I guess, I mean, you know, you've got to settle it some way, like you said. It is unfortunate, and it is a big prize, so I'm sure they're scrambling around trying to get... And like you said, the other problem is, when they come back in, these guys have just spent 15 minutes... sweating to try and get back online, and they have to go straight back into the game that they're currently behind in and try and turn it around. It is going to be tough for them. Yeah,
this is... I mean, it's like you don't really see this too often in pro sports, but once in a while, I think like the past Super Bowl, you had that power outage. Dota is even more a game of tempo and momentum because the game doesn't have any built-in pauses. Yes, usually in online events, teams end up pausing, but it's not built in the way that TV timeouts are, or, you know, having just teams having the ability to call a timeout like they do in most professional sports. Or natural pauses built into the game. Things like having plays or downs in football, having baskets being scored and then you pass the ball in basketball, or even just each at-bat happening in baseball. You don't have that in Dota. It's a game that's a lot more based on momentum, flow, and kind of feel. And you see what happens even in a sport like tennis, to use another example, where players will stall fake injuries to kind of disrupt their opponent's momentum.
Right.
There's been some scandals with that. Same thing in Dota. Now, not saying that EG is committing any sort of foul here, but the point is that it does affect the momentum and the tempo of the team.
I mean, that's the thing, is it like in football, meaning soccer, there's a very well-known tactic of feigning injury. So the last 10 minutes of the game, you're leading 2-0, your opponent's pulled back a goal to make it 2-1, and they're on top. And what you do is you bump into somebody and you fall around, rolling around and clutching your leg. And this was so effective at slowing down the game. And everybody's standing there with their hands on their hips for 5 minutes waiting for the game. And they treat the guy on the field. And then he's like, gets up and he's like, "Oh, I'm okay to carry on," and the ref carries on, and they completely lost their adrenaline's gone, and they're all just standing around, and then the game plays out. So what they said was, okay, if you're injured, you've got to get off the pitch as quick as you can, and then you have to wait there, and then the referee will signal you to come back on. And it's that kind of change that you're going to see eventually. And we are not saying that EG are pulling a fast when they were AL or anybody like this, but it's that kind of stuff that over time, people will put that kind of stuff as a sort of meta tactic, to try and disrupt their opponents. I honestly don't think we will, because the difference is that this is not quite as sort of... There's not really the sort of gamesmanship in Dota, I think, because everybody's... You know what I mean? It's not quite the same way. It's harder to fake anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the other thing is, it doesn't work at big events. Like, for Valve at the International, there was no way to fake a technical issue. Like, you could do it, but there's a guy right behind you in your booth who within seconds is going to say, "What's the issue? How are we resolving it?" And I don't think there was a pause longer than, like, a minute at the entire International, too. So, in online events, maybe you can have that gamesmanship. Won't happen in the real world. But speaking of faking injuries, I'm going to link in the stream chat, actually. There was for me, an absolutely egregious, one of the most offensive and unacceptable things ever to happen in professional sports. Deion Grant of the New York Giants fakes an injury to stop the Rams' no-huddle offense. Typical New York Giants football. Probably anyone from New York would do this in Dota as well. I even almost said Dota there. Shameful, disgusting, abominable, offensive, and, well... I hate New York sports. That's my point, man. I'm from Philly, so... Yeah,
exactly.
Some hate coming out for me.
I mean, as an ex-New Yorker, the Giants and the Jets are my team, so I've got to take issue with everything you've just said. And,
Well, you're doing it very gently, so
I'm a Mets fan. Give me a break. I have to support one of the worst teams in the whole history of the universe. Although we're doing okay this season.
so the entirety of Team EG has, wow, I mean like 250. Actually, I guess it's just the West Coast to the East Coast. Or this game might actually be on Europe West, actually, as I have like 240 ping. Yeah, I think this one's on EU West. So yeah, but Beta is sitting on 500 ping right now, and apparently not going down at all.
What?
Demon
That's
request.
Bane reconnected. Bane has reconnected.
Yeah,
so
Beatus is back in the game, but he's lagging. And then over on the other side, Milk still not reconnected.
It's tough. This is I'm not sure what they're. I think they might have to. I guess if this goes on, they probably should forfeit if they need a result today. I mean, honestly, if AG were way up, I think they could be more upset. But I think AL, as we've been saying, have got a very strong position. We did say that in the last game. It's not exactly.
I don't think it's enough to award a forfeit win. Like, I think the fair thing to do. It's a little bit unfair to AL, but say EG, you have to remake play with stand-ins. I don't think it's fair to give because if this wasn't an elimination game, maybe I could see it. But if EG lose this game, they're done. So because of that, I'll actually disagree with you and say I feel like the fair thing would be an AP. Or not an AP remake, but just a remake with stand-ins.
Yeah.
And then a redraft.
No, yeah, you're right. Because there's too much on it to just have to forfeit it. I'm vicious when it comes to moderating things. I just want it over and done with.
Well, we'll continue to have a pause here. So, Pyrian, what's new in your life? Anything coming out? Any videos? Any content? Any raps?
The raps. I was sick for a week, and then I was on holiday for a week. So the only thing is I posted a guide to Nyx Assassin last night, which is the first hero guide I've done in like a month. But I'm going to post the part 6 of the Alan Wake playthrough, which people either love or hate. I'm enjoying playing it, but people are like, oh my god, another hour-long video of Pyrian playing Alan Wake. Are you kidding me? And downvoted and hate on it. But there are also people who absolutely love it. So I'm going to finish that game for sure, and then I've decided I want to do a review, a very late review of Far Cry 3, because I didn't start playing it until quite a while, sort of after it came out, and it's a very funny game, so I wanted to do a video about that. And then I'm not sure who the next hero is going to be. I always think about it. I think another female hero, because I haven't done a female hero in a while, and I think it might be Windrunner, but we'll see. I said that before, and nothing came of it.
You've been saying that for a while, but then you also... I remember one time, one of our first... oh, by the way, we need to do one of those. It's been too long. Fascinating journey. I mean,
dude, I'm ready to do them. The problem is that you have this crazy obsession.
I'll make the time.
I'll
make the time. I'm going to see if we can find someone else to edit it together, because I'm really bad at video editing. It takes me way too long. But I'd definitely like to get back to doing those, so... Hopefully we can. I'm trying to think... Oh, wait, are you allowed to tell the world about your top secret plans coming up in the near future? I heard you have a thing in the near future.
Can you mention it on Skype so I know what you're talking about? Because I have several top secret things and I don't want to... Oh yeah, dude, I didn't realize that was top secret. Yeah, that's this weekend. I'm going to be in Katowice in Poland this weekend. Along with, well, a whole bunch of teams are going to be there. No Titan's going to be there. Navi's going to be there. I think, God, who else is going to be there? I should really know this. There's only 8 teams, for God's sake. Anyway, that's for the EMS Raid Call Finals, and that's a 2-day event, and I'm going out there, which is going to be awesome. It's going to be... I've been to one LAN before, which was in London, which was quite a small event, but this has been the first big sort of LAN event I'm going to. I don't think there's a huge audience there, because it's in a hotel. But it's going to be absolutely awesome, and I think that's going to be streamed. I can't remember. Toby is casting it, in fact, with Kawa, and I think I might either cast a game with Toby, which might be quite fun, and then I'll also be doing interviews and stuff like that.
So you'll be interviewing. Are you hosting as well, or just kind of doing?
I assume so. I mean, I literally, they just said, just come out here and we'll find stuff for you to do. I was like, okay.
Well,
I mean, I'll just go stick a microphone in anybody's face and figure out. I was going to talk to a lot of the fans, because some of the Dota is not massive in Poland. As I understand it, LoL is the game that they play there.
Oh man, so, have you seen the? Did you get to watch the IEM Katowice? Not EMS, but IEM, which is same organization that kind of oversees the event. But it was like this ridiculous arena. There were thousands of people there. I want to say like 10,000 or more.
Wow,
it was ridiculous.
What? So he's going to try and load the save point of this game. Do not leave the game until I confirm. Okay. Interesting. You can't test that without everyone in the lobby. Oh man, this is tricky. Anyway, yeah. So, LOL is big in Poland, and so they had this event, and people were like saying, like a Dota 2 event in Poland is kind of ambitious because they are big LOL players. But if you look in my eyes, if you look at the growth of Dota 2 on Twitch, it's huge. I mean, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. There's so many people watching the game live now, and so I think it is going to get bigger and bigger. And there's no point saying, oh well, so and so game is bigger. All kinds of games are bigger. That doesn't mean you don't try, and that doesn't mean you don't promote the game in Poland. So I think it's going to be a good event. I know the tickets have sold out, but I look forward to going. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm very jealous of you. I'm jealous of everyone else who gets to meet you, P-Flex.
Oh, stop it, you.
We got to get together. You better be coming to some North American events. Hopefully I get to travel to Europe at some point.
Yeah, dude, that would be awesome. The only thing is I have no money, and I have children, so I need to, basically they're flying me out there and stuff. Otherwise, there's no way I could do it.
And
but,
I think it's probably suitable to mention your benefactor who helped make it possible, which is, of course, as it often seems to be in the Dota 2 scene, 2GD, who pretty much gets gigs for everyone. James is the fucking man.
He is the master. You're right. I'm an idiot for not giving him a shout out. He basically just messaged me on Skype and said, "Hey, P-Flax, do you want to go to Poland?" I was like, "Well, I'd love to, but blah blah blah." He said, "No, it's cool. I got you a job in Poland." I was like, "Oh, thanks."
It's like, that sounds all right. I guess I'll take that.
Said, yeah, I couldn't do it, so I did. So like I said, the other LAN I did. There's a video on my channel of me interviewing people and stuff, and he just said, yeah, I showed him that, and they said, yeah, cool, and that was that. I was like, that's so nice. Like, that's really, really. He's that kind of guy. He just brings people in. He's totally positive about everything, and yeah, I mean, it was just the nicest thing. And they're talking about maybe I could go visit them in Sweden sometime, which would be awesome. I would love to go and see the Dota house and meet Bruno, of course, which would be possibly the most exciting thing in my life ever. Chilling with P-Flax and Raycool drinking Monster. What's Monster? Oh, the energy drink?
These are EG sponsors.
Oh, really?
Melk had this really well-executed, clever, shameless sponsor plugging. I think he's doing a panel with Toby for the defense, and it was like an all either EG members panel or former EG members on the panel, and Melk managed to, in one statement, I think he managed to mention every single sponsor at once, and in fact got Toby in trouble apparently because one of the sponsors for EG actually conflicts with the defense's sponsors. And now Demon rising to the challenge.
Yeah, he knows.
But with all that being said, guys, if you're just tuning in, unfortunately, we're having connection issues. We're having delay issues. It's Absolute Legends leading the best of 3 1-0, but unfortunately, we can't seem to get Melk back inside the game. Beatas did reconnect, but his ping is horrendous, almost 500 ms. There have been claims from EG that they think they're getting DDoS. Either that or just mysteriously having multiple players with significant internet issues. So, well, a word to the wise, if you're using Skype as a professional Dota player, you should probably go read some of the Reddit threads which have been popping up recently explaining how to protect yourself and prevent your IP from being released to the public. Because Skype is actually very buggy, very easy to hack.
Yeah.
Of course, it's convenient because everyone has it. That's why so many people in the community use it. But there are ways to protect yourself using things like proxies and basically forcing Skype to actually, or VPN even, forcing Skype to connect to the internet through a VPN is one of the options. And that way you don't actually reveal your IP to the public. But there's a more detailed Reddit post which explains it better than I could. And there are ways to protect your connection. I'm not saying Skype is the issue, but it certainly could be. Often is the exploit. I know it's been an issue in the past with StarCraft 2. And, well, we see it now becoming an issue in Dota 2, which on the one hand is kind of cool because it means we're getting big enough where people care enough about the games to want to sabotage them. So that's the very odd silver lining period. But then there's the fact that we don't get to play the freaking games, which sucks.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting you were saying that about Skype and the IP address. There was another issue with Skype and passwords. And I think you needed to... There was something to do with your profile. It's one of those programs, like you said, everybody has it. I use it every day, and it does have some serious security problems, and it's a real shame to see that people will take advantage of that. But you know, they're always gonna. I think it behooves Skype it's beholden on them to do something about it, because it has had holes before, and to hit this one as well, it is really, really troubling.
It's honestly a shitty program, but it's like Facebook. Like, Facebook sucks, but everybody uses it, so it's a good platform for promoting yourself.
Do you hate Facebook? Why do you hate Facebook?
There was a great tweet I read one time, and I'm trying to remember it. It's like, Facebook is all the people that you wish you never had to talk to anymore, or that, like, you wish you could stop being friends with, and then Twitter is all the people that you wish you actually were friends with. I feel like Facebook for fan really pages, I think, is okay, but I mean, I don't want to freaking hear about, like, what you had for breakfast. I don't care about your picture, like your album of 50 pictures of you, like, doing your toenails, or like petting your dog. Like, your dog's cute. It's not that cute.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I've stopped posting those so much. I thought you liked all of my toenail updates. Not a fan?
Well, for you, I'll make an exception, but
for Facebook, I have a page. I have 100 people, friends maximum, and I keep it at that. And if a new friend wants to add me, I'll just say, I'm sorry, I only allow 100 people, or I'll boot somebody to make way for them. Because I know that sounds stupid, but if you can genuinely have 100 people in your life that you want to share things with, I think that's a normal amount. I know people with, like, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of friends. They don't know these people. You can't keep up with 600-700 people. And they don't, every time you post a picture of you and your kids, that's going to 600 people. And who knows about their security settings and blah, blah, blah. It's stupid. I keep my Facebook friends tight. I keep it tight. Like, how many numbers do you need on your phone? So,
lock that shit down.
Yeah, it's useful if you keep it small and amongst actual friends. But Twitter, as you said, is much better for talking to a bunch of people. You can follow a bunch of people, and also by limiting the posts to 140 characters or 141 or whatever it is, I think it's really, really, really clever, and it keeps it, like, brevity is the soul of wit, they say, right? So that's why I need to shut the fuck up a bit more. But basically, it's by limiting it, people have to be clever, and it's awesome. Twitter, I didn't get it at first, but now I get it.
Yeah, cut out all the bullshit is what I say. But, no offense to anyone who uses Facebook. It's not all bullshit. But it probably is if you're using it. Yeah. Period. More delays. Still no site reconnect. Looks like Atria is now talking directly to EG. So I imagine there will be some sort of admin decision, as we're probably now approaching 25, 30 minutes for this pause. It's Game 2 of a best-of-3, the G1 Champions League Season 5, EG versus Absolute Legends. AL currently leading the series 1-0. If they win this game, they advance. They're into the main double elimination bracket, where they will have 2 losses available to them before they are eliminated from that. As for EG, if they lose this game, they're out. But if they win it, we go to a deciding Game 3. Basically, this is a play-in game. We start with 12 teams. 8 of them play in for the final 4 spots in the main bracket, and then the 4 invited teams are waiting for them there.
Yeah, honestly, this is like, I don't think this is going to make the VOD section of any websites. You know what I mean? It's like 90% of this has been paused. It's a real shame when this happens, but it does happen. I mean, like you said, it can happen in the Super Bowl. They had light failures in the Super Bowl, so it's all computers. Computers are nuts. They don't make any damn sense. So sometimes they're going to go wrong.
Yeah, so just showing everyone the bracket now, since we have a bit of a pause here, and
it's so confusing. What I don't understand. Every single Dota 2 tournament seems to have the most complicated brackets. This guy plays this. They go into a best of 15, spread over 4 matches, and brackets, loser bracket, winner. I just tried, like, the World Cup is simpler than this. You have a group stage, top 2 go through, and then you have the best of 16, and then it goes down to quarterfinals, semifinals, winners. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, it seems much more complicated to me, but I guess they have to figure out how to place everybody. You got to seed everything, and it's confusing as hell.
Well, guys, since we have a prolonged pause, show you the pings again. I see some of you in the chat requesting it. They don't really matter since the game isn't actually being played right now, but there you go. Still waiting for BDiz to try and sort out his ping issue. Still trying to wait for Malk to reconnect to the game. But, well, since we have a prolonged pause, period.
How can you see the pings?
Typing ping in console. Actually, I had my brackets overlay up, so that's not my in-game. Yeah, I'll show you the pings again, since I lost control over my overlays. There you go.
But, by the way, LD, can I take this opportunity? While you've got all these people on stream, this is a question you see asked so much, like an insane amount, and I too wondered, what's the score? People ask, who won the first game? And there were a lot, like someone the other day said, oh my god, I can't believe that I didn't know this before. If you look at the top of the monitor, of the screen, sorry, where just either side of the time where it says 5 for AL and 3 for EG, just below that, there are these little black lights that are either lit or not lit. And when they're lit green, that's the score. So you can see AL 1, EG none. So they're winning 1-0. It's as simple as that. You never need to ask again what's the score. You can look at the screen and know right for yourself. I just wanted to say that, LD, because it's something that I know a lot of people think is everybody knows it, but they don't.
It's not the most obvious scoreboard, though. It's very small relative to the overall screen real estate, which is understandable, considering that it's an interface that you don't want to interfere with for the players, because this is the exact same HUD that in-game people actually use when they're playing. But I mean, I like what the GD Studio's done, where they make it a little bit more visible. I think it's kind of hard to see. Some people, if they're watching on a lower quality setting, might not be able to tell how many green dots there are. Like, if you're watching at 240p, I imagine it's just all blurry. But it is there. If you're watching on high definition, you have no excuse. Shame on you.
I honestly don't think people know. Like, I mean, for instance, the little number, if you look at EG, the little number there is the number of spectators watching with that pennant, right? With the EG pennant. That's what that number means.
That is what it means.
I didn't know that until yesterday, LD. And so some other person's going to be as stupid as me. And they might need to know that as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, we haven't seen pennants added for a lot of these teams. I mean, I feel like it's something that Valve should kind of make up their minds about if they want to promote it more. If it's only going to be for the international, that's kind of unfair to, I feel, to tier, solid professional teams that just aren't quite top tier teams to not even have access to that. They should be able to develop their community and fan base as well. So I imagine it's something Valve has future plans for, but just haven't gotten around to.
Future plans. I mean, the other thing is I don't know if you noticed, but at the captain's mode stage, it says EG are now picking. Like the announcer actually says EG are now picking. It's EG's turn to pick, is what she says, which is kind of cool. I mean, I don't think that. They have lines recorded for those teams. Yeah, because obviously I guess that was pre-TI2. They did all this stuff so that all the teams that were there would have like the fanciest of schmanciest stuff.
Fancy schmancy. I'm out. I'm all tapped out, period. I'm out of filler. I'm done.
Yeah, filled for half an hour, dude. I mean, people don't have to do that on live TV. Save game 17 successful, says Villat.
Yeah, I mean, the game's been saving, but the issue is if Melt can't rejoin, I don't think you can load.
Look at the chat is filled with people saying who won the first game. Oh, man.
Well, anyway, while we're sort of talking this over, the organizers are talking to each other directly, just not in the game lobby, so... Hello to Villat. Hello to everybody watching on the Starladder stream. Also, shout out to AC, who I think is solo casting this one. And, I mean, talk about... That's a guy who can fill... like nobody else. So huge shout out to AC. He's the man. I imagine a lot of people are in fact watching him. Some people may even have both streams open, but AC obviously deserves a lot of credit for filling all this time. I think Villat is solo casting as well, or at least he was in game 1. So both of them probably filling.
Yeah, I would be playing sea shanties at this point. Like that's what I do when I stream. I play sea shanties.
You would just start like playing. I remember that one time you were casting. I forgot what tournament it was, but you were like really drunk. And he just kept on alt-tabbing in the middle of team fights to watch YouTube videos.
I think that was the Swedish tournament. That must have been that Ogre.
I think it's the second one. I think it's the second Ogre. Like the first one, you took pretty seriously.
Yeah, the first one, like was one of the first things I'd ever cast. Actually, I think like as the lead caster, if you like. Even though there was hardly any people watching, but it was so much fun. And we had like all kinds of stuff that we'd made and little pictures and things. And then for the second one, I was so excited. I started drinking really early. I thought, right, I'm hyped up for this. And it was me and Shane. And when you listen to the later games, there's like these 5 minutes where there's just no talking. And Shane's like, right, period. I'm like, huh? And I actually fall asleep at one point. And like you said, just all tabbing, looking and watching YouTube videos while we're waiting for stuff to happen. It was awful. And there has not been an OGAR 3 since, I think, because they were like, man, Pyrian really, really fucked that up. But I had a whale of a time. I just needed to drink less. I'm sober right now, by the way, folks. If anybody, doubts that.
This game is making me want to drink.
Yeah, You see now you couldn't LD because this would be the hard part for me. It's like it gets to about 5-6 o'clock. The kids have been screaming at me all day, and I'm like, man, I kill for a beer, have a couple of beers, and if I start casting or playing around 10-11 o'clock, you know, I've had a good few beers by that point. You can't do that. You're gonna have to be up for the next 10 hours casting. They could all be disconnects like this. You might have to fill for the next 10 hours, LD. Think about that.
Time to go look up some knock-knock jokes. This is...
Knock-knock. I know a good knock-knock joke.
Go for it. I'm looking up Dota knock-knock jokes.
Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Jesus. You know how a knock-knock joke works, right?
I'm looking them up right now, so I was paying attention.
No, stop looking up. Here's the joke. Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Europe.
Euro who?
Europe.
Europe who?
No, Europoo. You see? That's my kid's favorite joke.
All right, more. I like it.
You fucked it up so bad. God
no,
damn
you
it.
didn't enunciate. You said Europe.
Europe.
Yeah, you said Europe instead of Europe.
Europe.
You gotta pop your peas, period. Pop those peas.
I haven't got my pop filter on. I can't pop.
All right.
Well,
the pop filter prevents you from popping.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you have it on. Okay.
I haven't. No, I haven't got it on. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If I pop it, it'll just pop the mic. Anyway, give me your knock joke. This better be good, because mine was good.
These are just random knock-knock jokes. All right,
No, don't get the defense of no. Just tell the joke, and we'll be the judges.
Jesus, you've gotten so violent and angry all of a sudden.
Just get on with the joke.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Daisy.
Daisy who?
They see me trolling. They hating.
All right, that's a good one. Yeah. Next.
Yeah. All right, that one's from Arius Star on the Play Dota forums. He's been banned apparently. All right, that's not even a knock knock joke.
That's a pretty good one.
No. One of these ones I looked up, it just says knock knock, get off my lawn, you Jehovah Witnesses vermin. It's a knock knock joke. These are so bad.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow who?
Ooh! That's it.
Jesus.
I'm not saying it's good. It's a knock knock joke. LD, the cast has come to the stage where we've been paused for more time than we were watching Dota, and we're just telling knock knock jokes.
The cast has come to the point where everyone should go home because I imagine the chat is drunk.
No, there's the chat numbers are not going down. We have somehow managed to keep.
No, not the numbers, but the quality of the chat. E.g. forfeit, e.g. trash cheer, get GTFO. They removed. The world is sad. LMAO, lose means lose. Why you want to postpone? Play some bubble pop LD, brain slug. Oh yes, knock knock. Come in. They should go to link.
Brain slug is a Futurama thing, right?
It's a Twitch emoticon as well.
Yeah. Oh, Matt's here. Knock knock says Cyborg Matt. Who's there? Oh, it's too late now. Oh yeah. Say who's there in chat. Otherwise, we'd have to wait 2 minutes between. You know what I mean?
I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Period. I'm out. I'm all tapped out. I'm an empty. I'm the dregs of the keg right now.
Interesting to tell you.
Well, I can tell you we have more matches coming up later today.
Oh God! If you mention the brackets one more time, I'm going to scream. I don't want to hear the brackets.
No, I'm just going to say the schedule. The schedule.
All right.
Virtus Pro versus Mouse. Scheduled to happen in about an hour and a half. Best of 3 for the G1 League, and then we play .tv after that. So we should have some games coming up later. Hopefully no DDoSing or disconnections or whatever the hell is going on. But we'll have more Dota for you guys.
God. Bane's disconnected. Yeah, he reconnected now. He's disconnected. The thing is, like now this has gone on so long that I'm now worried that Babby Flax is going to wake up and I'm not going to be able to finish casting even if they do get back in it. So you might have to solo cast it after all. You've filled for half an hour and now you're going to have to solo cast the rest of the game. It's on the cards that she'll wake up. She could wake up in the next 20 minutes.
The chat loved the joke, period. They loved all the knock-knock jokes in the world. All right.
Look at this. Look at all the LOLs and the ruffles are spilling it forth from these people like milk from the land of milk and honey. They can't get enough knock-knock jokes. Shit, I wish I had some more now. I got none. Please stop these jokes, says someone. I came here to watch Dota 2, gentlemen. Not to listen to P-Flax tell shitty knock-knock jokes. At least I can tell a knock-knock joke. LD fucked it up. Knock-knock. 1 minute pause. Who's there?
I was looking up my own.
Worst double act.
All right, period. Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Cows go.
Cows go who?
Cows go moo, not who.
That's a good one.
That is a good one, actually. It's like simple, but it's the best. The simple ones are the best.
My kid's gonna love that one. Her other favorite joke is, why are pirates called pirates?
Why?
Because they are. That's it. She loves that joke. She doesn't even get it, but she tells it all the time.
That's great. I'm happy.
Yeah.
The viewers, not so happy.
Well, what do they know about a good knock-knock joke? They should be grateful. This is the best filler ever. Everybody's now trying to tell knock-knock jokes on the screen.
Well, the thing is, we have all sorts of filler, but the filler that we have is... I'm not going to take other people's YouTube videos and put them in our match VODs, so... Sorry, guys. Can't really play those videos now.
Yeah.
Although I imagine whatever happens, it's not going to be the game actually getting played at this point, so I probably could cut to a break, as it's just getting to the point of ridiculousness. What do you say, Pyrian? You got more material, or do you want to cut over to a break and come back if the game actually resumes?
It's up to you, dude. It's your stream. I mean, you know, I don't know. I honestly don't see how they can keep this pause much longer. This is pretty much the longest pause I think I've ever seen in a game, ever. I mean, can you imagine if this was a pubby game, by the way? Can you imagine just saying, hold on, guys, just need to pause for 30 minutes? I would love to see a pubby game where that actually happens, just like that would be something. That would be testament to the decency of human beings everywhere.
Well, speaking of a test, here comes the test for EG. G-1 is not messing around. G-1 is very strict in general. We've seen that with them before, just from requiring players to show up early. If you even enter a lobby if you don't have 5-10 minutes in advance, you actually get docked draft time. You get penalized 30 seconds. And then I think if you don't have all 5 by the time the match is actually scheduled to start, it's 60 seconds. If you're late, you can even end up getting a forfeit loss for your first game. Like if you're 10 minutes late, you get a forfeit loss for game 1. So they are strict, barring some severe emergencies. And in this case, they've actually made the decision because apparently they're unable to postpone. G1 has decided that EG will lose in 5 more minutes if they're unable to get milk. The reason is scheduling. They're not able to reschedule this match. The tournament, as I mentioned, a tight time frame because EMS is this weekend. So EG have 5 minutes, at this point probably less than 5, or they're going to receive a forfeit loss in this game, which means a forfeit for the entire series since they're already down 1-0. It sucks, but given the circumstances, I don't know what else you can really do as the admins. If you can't reschedule, I mean, what do you say? I guess you could remake, but that's not entirely fair to AL either.
Yeah.
I still would kind of, I mean, just my personal feeling, I would kind of lean towards having a remake with a stand-in for EG at the very least, but they... Ultimately, admin decision, it's going to be EG, get milk in here or forfeit for them.
Yeah. I honestly think, I mean, I know it'll be unfair on EG. AL have the 1-0 lead. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, they are 1-0 up. They're a little bit ahead in this game. If I was EG, I would be really, really, really devastated because obviously they really want this. But I can also kind of understand the admin's decision. They need to make a decision. They need to make you know what I mean? They need a team. They need a decision now because of scheduling, because of other games coming up. And you don't want to have one game just dragging behind everybody waiting on that. And then here's the other thing. If they have technical issues again, you know what I mean? It's holding up again. If someone can't make it, they have to have a stand-in. That could change the whole game. I mean, if someone has to step out, someone has to step in, that really could change the game. So I can understand both arguments, to be honest with you. It's a tough call. They need to make a decision. I think 5 minutes. It's already been nearly 40, I think, maybe. So I can understand it, LD. It's
a shitty situation, but I don't think you can really fault G1. It's just a situation where no matter what they decide, somebody's going to be very unhappy and someone's going to get screwed. If we have to remake, it kind of screws over AL. If we have to postpone, also screws them over because they've had momentum, not only in this game particularly, like let's say even if we try for a reload tomorrow, and G1 could do that, which scheduling-wise sounds like they can't, but it also screws AL over because they have momentum, they're ready to play now, their heads are in the game, now you have to reset, pull away from the series. It's what happened at DreamHack, where EG played Snow Tidehunter after they switched to the big venue, because you play game 1 in the Dota area, then you move over to the stadium for the final 2 games of the best of 3 LAN finals, the grand finals, and it completely disrupted the tempo of EG, or at least they argued that, and I could totally see that. It gave No Tidehunter a chance to kind of find their footing, strategize, relax, cool themselves off. They came up with the Roshan bait, something I'm not sure if they would have done if they jumped right into a game 2 in the Dota 2 area. I mean, all of this is what ifs and buts, but at the end of the day, nobody's going to be happy regardless of what the decision is. And I think I'm just glad that G1 is making a decision rather than letting it drag on and just hoping that things will fix themselves. Because at this point, it's pretty clear they won't.
Yeah, it is a real shame. I think AG will be understandably upset, but as you say, it's not. It wouldn't be fair to AL either to postpone it because people are in different moods. People are sort of switched on some days, switched off another day, and there's also a mental issue of we were up, we should win, and you go into it, and then you have something to lose almost. You know what I mean? Like you'd be worried in the back of your mind about throwing the game. I think that can affect performance as well. I mean, it's very mental. You don't want to be going into a game that you knew in your mind should have been your game and worried about losing it and letting them back in. And if EG were to make it 1-1, AL would then rightly feel, well, that's not fair, blah blah blah. So it is very 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 tough. On both teams either way, but I honestly I think like you said, G1 have to make a decision. I think it's good that they're doing that, and it's a shame. I hope EG will be understanding. I understand that they're going to say, look, it's not our fault, and it really isn't their fault. But what can you do? Try to load. B-Diz is back, he says.
B-Diz is back, but if Malk isn't, I don't think we can actually load. B-Diz trying to reconnect here, but. Yeah. Apparently, EG wants to play on 3v5, even if neither of their players can reconnect, which...
Wow.
I think EG has a shot in this game, but yeah, I feel for fear at this point. Even the team that is going to be screwed by this, they just want to figure out what's going on. It's 4 a.m. over on the west coast of the U.S. They've been probably up all night, or maybe took a nap. Let's have something happen, P-Flex. Let's just have something happen. Yeah,
you're right, the time issue as well. I mean, this. You know what? This will be interesting, actually, because... I guess if you're not actually physically there, anytime, I mean, you'll know this, LD, if the Chinese teams are playing European teams, what server do they play
on? Chinese, I guess it would be US West, because that's kind of the fairest.
But it's still, I mean, you're still going to have basically everybody playing with kind of a crappy ping, aren't you? Like it's not optimal to have to play with 200 or 300 ping. I mean, we know that we're in the match where we had Winter on the team BTS, he had, what was his ping? 500 or 600 or something ridiculous like that? And now they're saying Melk is back.
45 minutes later, he actually comes back, and if EG, if they go on to take this series, you gotta say just in the nick of time, but he logs onto Steam. Let's see if he can actually get inside the game. I imagine G1, their patience will not be there for long, so he'd better get in quickly.
Where is B-Diz? This could be this. I think this has to count as the longest pause ever. I'd love to know if there's a longer pause. Also, it's so close to lunchtime now. I'm getting hungry, LD. I'm gonna have to hungry cast.
I'm hungry as well. I'm hungry.
Tired and hungry.
I'm bored.
I need to get a drink.
Cranky.
Can I get some water or something? I mean, don't unpause, guys, for God's sake. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa!
Milk is back! Milk is back!
I had 45 minutes to get something to drink, and now I want to... Oh, my God.
Holy shit, he's actually back.
Wow.
Let's see if he stays in. But for the moment, I guess hold off on that snack. Either way, we'll resume. So at least 4v5 you can kind of deal with. Especially a hero like Bane. I mean, you can almost even focus on controlling the Bane and just right-click around with the Tidehunter and just press R. You could even try a reload with if ever.
Can't connect. It's 17:03, so they could reload at 17 minutes, right? I mean, they could try that.
Yeah, I think it saves once a minute, so they definitely could reload. I don't think anything big happened in the last minute, although it's so hard to remember what was even going on a minute ago. But I'm pretty sure it was just teams farming and trading.
Yeah.
Let's actually look at. We could look at the graph and see.
Oh,
God, yeah, nothing's even happened in the last minute, so...
He's giving a shout-out. Why is Melt giving a shout-out to Odense City? That's in Denmark, near the Isle of, I think the Lyn, is it Lyn Peninsula? I went there on holiday anyway. It was very, very nice. Let me see, I'm trying to remember where the heck that was.
Yeah, well, I don't know anything about Odense, but EG now requesting a reload.
It's Odense.
We all 5 here. Okay, so maybe we'll have a reload. I think it's okay to reload at this point. Yeah. I guess the only issue is if it doesn't work, then what do you do? But, yeah, no reconnect button. I think reload does fix that.
Yeah, near Otterup. That's exactly where I stayed. It was really nice. It's beautiful around there. Fjords and stuff. Stunning. Denmark's a nice country. Yes, AL is okay with load game. We reload, we go reload. So here we go. Okay.
All right, we're going to have a reload 45, maybe 50 minutes later.
Incredible.
We'll do it.
I honestly think they should say if we go for the reload, if it doesn't work, AL should get the win. I really think.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I don't think it's fair for,
Yeah.
for any other way. Because I mean, in theory, it could kind of be shenanigans as well, and you never really know for sure. So
Shenanigans. There needs to be a rule book with a heading shenanigans and a list of all the possible shenanigans.
it's a lot of shenanigans at play, but we will see. Hopefully, for this.
So what for the reload? We all leave the game and then we rejoin the lobby and they reload it at the 17-minute mark. Or do we all just stay here and they load? How does it work?
It's the same lobby host. It gives you a list of options. Basically, you just select the save game.
Okay. Oh, now Demon's like, wait a minute. If it doesn't work, we lose.
Jeez,
Now they might say, well, let's play 5v4, but I don't
This is such a. I hate to say it, but it's just such a fucking mess. I mean, here's what I would like to see from Valve. By no means flaming them, just as a potential solution to head this off in the future. There should be. They talked about this actually like even a year and a half or 2 years ago. They're going to add an option in matchmaking where if someone abandons a game, you can actually take over their spot. And I think like they would create incentives for it, like maybe you get extra battle points or. If you take over someone's spot instead of just playing from the start, to encourage people to do it. They need to add that for lobbies. You should be able to replace a player and still use a load. I'm not sure why you can't now, but if it's possible to do that, I would love to see. I'm not sure if there's a technical limitation blocking it, or if it's just a feature they haven't gotten around to using. But hopefully in the future, Valve can implement that so we never have a situation like this. Either way, we're not going to have a remake or a postponement, so it all comes down to the load, and we're just going to have to cross our fingers and hope that it works.
So they're saying leave right now and check. Oh, I need to get the door. Hold on.
All right, we'll go. We'll wait for PFlex to get the door. We will have the host go and check, see if there is a load. He'll actually have to abandon the game though to do it. So guys, just a few more minutes here. Sit back, relax. I'm going to mute my mic, get some hot water. We'll see if this all works out. We'll be back in just a few moments.
You there, LD?
Yeah, so far. Unpack the box.
I'm reading letter book. It's a princess coloring.
LD, you there?
It's a,
LD's not there.
this is
Admins leave. Tell them what stream.
Are they still forced out?
Do you see this, LD? Admins leave, tell them watch stream. We did not give them confirmation on our end. So I think EG are now saying they didn't confirm that they're happy to disconnect, try the reload, and if it doesn't work, they lose. I think that's what's happening.
Hello, I'm back. I was getting some hot water, so...
No, that's cool, that's cool. I was just saying, so they're all disconnecting now. Okay, so we should disconnect, I think.
I guess so. Alright guys, we're gonna come right back. I'm definitely gonna have to cut the VOD at this point, but we'll be back in just a few moments with the hopeful reload of this game. So I'll leave the in-game screen up on the screen so you can see what's going on, but I'm gonna give my voice like a 5-minute breather while we go through this. So stay tuned, hopefully the reload will work.